Well, hello there. The purpose of this talk that I gave in Dubai in January of 2023 was really more about how to create a video blog product of your own and how to go about doing that. I did talk a bit about FOMO education, which is free online access medical education, which has become really very, very prevalent and pervasive in today's medical education. So, what is FOMO? Free online access medical education. It means medical education for anyone, anywhere, anytime. There's a couple of excellent references I will refer you to. First one is Waves of FOMO, and then the second one is FOMO Guide. These are really helpful in understanding the whole history of FOMO, how it came about. So my goals today are, number one, just a quick overview on the creation of a FOMO educational product, which I did through emergency medicine news in the form of iCubed, my video blog. Number two, how do you get started? Number three, what are the tools to use? Number four, the method of actually creating the video. And then where to post. And then I'll give you a very short demo of the whole process of me creating a video. Now, how did I get started? Well, back in 2016, I submitted a case write-up to Emergency Medicine News, and the editor really liked it and published it. Emergency Medicine News is an online magazine, as well as a quote-unquote throwaway paper journal for 41,000 emergency physicians. There are 39,000 subscribers. Monthly online visits are almost 500,000. And then there's monthly online page view, which is almost 750,000. If you look at the digital audience engagement on the website, emergency medicine specialty average monthly page views is about 300,000. But if you look over to the rest of the world, it's almost 400,000 outside of the US that are reading. And that gives you the total of nearly 750,000 views of emergency medicine news per month. So then after a little bit of back and forth with the editor, we decided to launch my video blog, which was called iCubed, which stands for Instruct, Impart, and Inspire. I had the privilege of having an episode recording with Dr. Roberts, legendary Dr. Roberts. I also had the honor of speaking with Dr. Gregory Henry, another icon in emergency medicine. And then more recently was I had an episode with Dr. Salim Rozai and Dr. Swami Nathan. Both of these are stars in the emergency medicine educational world. And then my favorite was, of course, Dr. Amal Mattu, whom everybody knows. He is iconic and a leader in emergency medicine education and a specialist in emergency medicine cardiology. Now, just to brag a little bit, I did have an honorable mention from the Folio Magazine Awards in 2020. Now, I have put all of my medical education products on YouTube. It is very easy to get to. It's youtube.com/AliceLeeMD. All of my videos, all of my iCube episodes are on there. I also have a Substack. This is an up-and-coming, very, very popular writing forum where you can have blogs, you can have chats, and it's aliceleemd.substack.com. All right, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty. How do you create a FOMO video blog? I do have a disclaimer. The instructions that I am giving you are very specific to my own experience of recreating a educational video, and does not mean that it is comprehensive nor the only way to create an educational video. So this is my toolbox. Number one, I use a 27-inch iMac desktop computer. And then number 2, I use ScreenFlow from Telestream with Media Library, which is only available for Mac computers. This is a paid app that's well worth the money. And then I use Keynote app on the Macintosh. I use the iMovie app on occasion. I use a Zoom app to interact with my guests and record us. I use the YouTube subscription-free audio library. It is really terrific. It has a very broad collection of music that you might want to use for your video blog. And then I use freepik.com, which is a free service where you get many more than you need of free images and cartoons. I also use very liberally wikimediacommons.org, which is also free. Now, let me just briefly talk about ScreenFlow. This is a really powerful capture and editing software. It takes a little time to learn how to use it, but it is an amazingly user-friendly, intuitive tool to use. And I've created all of my iCubed as well as all of my video posts with this tool. So it does seem initially very intimidating to learn the skill, but they have plenty of tutorials that you can go through. There's just so much on the website that you can go to learn how to use the tool. The apps that I use, Keynote I use to create my slides. Zoom, like I said, I use that to record my guests. And then iMovie on occasion, I feel like I need to do a little bit of editing that the ScreenFlow doesn't have. The YouTube audio library is fantastic. It has so much music, and it's all copyright free. Freepik, once again, it's really terrific service where you can get free images and graphic resources. And then Wikimedia Commons, really helpful. It is a repository of a lot of media files. And again, their media here is all freely licensed for education. The content is sound, images, and video clips. Okay, so let's talk about the method of creating my video episodes. So I had 4 years of monthly episodes where I talked to a guest regarding a special case or a particular case that I've seen in my own practice that I thought was very interesting and worth teaching on. First thing to do is to gather the media. What does that mean? So I get the patient video or a photograph of the patient that we'll be talking about. And then I will do Zoom interviews or in-person interviews with someone and record that. I will, of course, obtain written permission from the patient to use their image or their video in the episode. And then next thing I do is research the subject and the topic that I'm talking about, whether it's dual sequential defibrillation or the dissecting aortic aneurysm. I'll do very thorough research on that particular topic. I need to understand the topic in the subject so that I can explain it during the episode. And then I will keep a record of the references which I researched that bolster and support my discussion in the episode. So then once I have all that gathered, the process of creating the video. Number one, I create my slides on Keynote, or you can use PowerPoint. I gather all of my digital or media items. Then I use ScreenFlow primarily to create the actual final video, where I'm putting the slides along with the video or the photos, and I talk about the case with my guest. And then I upload the product, which is the final video, to the blog website such as EMN or to my YouTube channel. So let's talk about where you can post your blog. Well, I'm on Emergency Medicine News, and that was a very fortuitous event. There's also Emergency Physicians Monthly, which is another online blog, very popular as well with emergency physicians. There's also emdocs.net. They are actually really active in terms of recruiting new authors and new bloggers. You can also start a blog on WordPress. I started that years ago, but then I've switched over to Substack. This is a wonderful new website that's been gaining popularity in the past probably 5 years or so. There's newsletters, there's podcasts, you can put your videos on there. There's also a live chat feature, and there's also a subscription feature where you would have paid subscriptions. And then YouTube, of course, you can always create your own YouTube channel. Now, in terms of the YouTube channel, I have a YouTube educational channel. There's lots of content on YouTube itself as to how to create a YouTube educational channel. Okay. I know that was a lot to throw at you within a short period of time, but let me just demonstrate, for those of you who are visual learners like myself, what I usually do to get a video together. Okay, so this is the ScreenFlow Blackboard of sorts. So first thing I'm going to do is insert a title, and I'll go to the selection. It's very easy. You just type in what title you want. You can just add it to the timeline on the bottom there. As you see, the yellow outline just shows you what you're working on. And then the next thing is to drag a photo or whatever media you want. So I've decided to put a slide, which I had created with Keynote. So then here, I'm just going to add a second slide right on the timeline. And a third thing to put on there is the image. So it's very, very user-friendly. You just drag and drop. Here I'm putting a video clip, but it's way too long. So I go on the timeline and I'm going back to see where I can clip the video, because I want a certain amount of seconds, or a certain number of seconds that I want it to be played. So I let it go. Then I stop it at one point where I want it to stop, and then I cut and delete the excess. I continue with the video. This is a very short 40-second video I'm creating, and I just drag what I want right onto the timeline. So there, I cut it. Next thing I want to do is pick the music I want to use for this video. So I go to the music library, and I go down to where the music piece that I decided on, drag and drop, just as easy as that. I'm going to insert a bit of a transition in the beginning. And then I'm testing the title. I'm going to put it appropriate place. I'm going to situate it so that it looks good. Just testing the transition from the title to the slide. Now, the music clip that I used was way, way too long, so I'm going to truncate it and then delete the excess. So here I'm cutting and deleting. I'm going to insert a transition as well at the end. That's the end of the editing. Okay. Here's the final video. Okay, so that is my talk. Just trying to see if I can pass along my experience in creating an educational blog using the tools that I have listed. I hope this is helpful to you, and if you have any questions or any suggestions, certainly reach out to me. You can reach me at aliceleemd.substack.com or on Twitter at azer.mom, or on YouTube, you can make a comment, YouTube at AliceLeeMD. All right, I hope that's been helpful. Thank you.